If you actively keep up with my channel, you will know that I am a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. Take a look at my room, unemployment final boss over here. Why do I need all these Lego sets? I keep up with basically every little thing within this franchise, and one of the things I happen to be the most familiar with is the merch. From plushies to action figures to a literal Chia pet, I know it all. But the most interesting thing is always the Master Toy Partners. If you're confused on what this is, a Master Toy Partner is the main company who produces Sonic figures and plushies. Sure, Lego and GE make merch based off of the series, but if you walk into your average Target, you're always going to see 5 Jakks-Pacific Sonics from Wave 13. I'm CJ, I talk, and today, I'm going to be diving into the weird world of Sonic action figures. The first company to ever make a real line of Sonic figures was Resource, and while the designs are certainly a product of its time, these figures are undeniably super accurate to the old adventure artwork. The first wave was released in 1999 and consisted of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Each of these figures came with a stand, a rod, and a ring, which aren't the most interesting accessories but are cool to have, I guess. These figures are very stylized, and while they look goofy for the modern age of figures, they looked pretty cool for their time. There was also this 12-inch Sonic, which is just a small one on steroids. Literally just the same sculpt, but souped up. Nowadays, we have 19 inches of Venom, but back in the day, they were all fiending for 12 inches of Sonic.
Oh my god, bro. What the
hell? I didn't mean it like that. I'm not getting funny, but Wave 2 released in 2000 and include Skiing Sonic, Amy, Gamma, and Big. It does kinda suck to have another Sonic in here over someone like Eggman or Chaos, but at least it's not the same exact sculpt 2 waves later, like everyone doesn't have this figure. Amy was included with her Pico hammer, Big had his fishing rod, and Gamma didn't really have a notable accessory, but to this day is the only figure we have of the Chad. Now, Resource ended up going down in 2001, so Sega gave the rights to. From now on, I'm not going to be diving into every little release since all of the next 4 toy partners did a lot of merch, but I am going to break down the important stuff. Toy Island's first wave was based off of Sonic Adventure for some reason, even though Sonic Adventure 2 was coming out in the same year, but then again, it's probably good we didn't get a Toy Island Shadow or Rouge in this style. Each figure came with some rings and 2 Chaos Emeralds, along with some additional accessories. Now, the elephant in the room is that all of these figures look like shit. Sonic has eyes drifting apart farther than the appearance, Tails looks like he's a fat ass, he eats very well at home, Knuckles looks like he's on the toilet, Eggman looks like he's gonna diddle me, and Big is the only figure I would actually call good. They also made these small bendy figures, so Tails is so ugly. Toy Island didn't make any more figures for 4 years, but with the release of Sonic X, they finally put out some new merch, which were just their ugly figures with less accessories. They did this another time before finally making a unique set of Sonic figures based off of the show. This wave is notable because, well, they actually look kinda good, and the character selection actually isn't bad. We got a new sculpted Sonic, our first ever Shadow figure, our only figures of Rouge and Cream for over 10 years, and the only figure of the Antichrist. They then gave us a Megabot Build-A-Figure wave with their first and only attempt at Amy, a stupid-ass space wave, and a weird Metal Force wave. What were they even doing? Now, Toy Island will lose the Sonic license in 2006, but they went out with the first ever Superposer figures, which were 6 inches tall and had a bunch of points of articulation. They also made this statue based off of 06, so cool, I guess. After Toy Island lost the license, Sega gave the Master Toy Partner privilege to Jazzwares is what many consider to be the best Sonic toy line, and while for a while it was, another toy company that starts with a J has for sure dethroned them for a while. Jazzwares started off with releasing Toy Island's first wave of figures, which is obviously the worst way a Sonic toy line had ever started. They only did Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, aka the worst ones out of the wave, and they didn't even have accessories unlike the original release. They also released the Superposers along with super variants of Sonic and Shadow, which were so lazy because all they did was repaint the original sculpts. It's okay to do it with Shadow since he has spikes that stay the same when he goes super, but Sonic's quills spike up when he's super, and this figure just has his regular old quills. They did end up fixing this, which was the right move, but there's no denying how lazy this was for their first wave of Sonic figures. Now, Jazzwares came in swinging with their next wave introducing the 3.5-inch figures. The first wave was Sonic, Tails, and then also to complete the team, Sonic again but with Caliber. Jokes aside, Knuckles did end up appearing in a comic book cut, with everybody's favorite Sonic character, Clear Blue Sonic. Their single releases continue to be great, with Shadow, Amy, the Werehog, Silver, and Metal Sonic, who ended up being thrown in a pack with Eggman later on. Yes, Rouge and Cream were missing from this lineup, but hey, we got the Werehog, so a win is a win. They loved doing comic book packs in this scale, which are basically just 2 figures and an Archie comic packed into one, and this was where a lot of characters were introduced. Now, in 2011, they had the most insane rollout out of any Sonic toy line, the 20th anniversary line. We got so much in this year. Classic Sonic, Classic Tails, a bunch of different enemies, Classic Eggman, 10x variants of both Sonics, Classic Amy, and Classic Supersonic. Now, unfortunately, after this banger year, Jazzwares' figures started to get really brittle for some reason, and a lot of character choices just weren't hitting the same. Take this Classic Multi-Pack for example, which was literally the only way to obtain Classic Metal Sonic, and the figures straight buns anyway. Their last products were 5-inch figures based off of Sonic and the Black Knight, and the license went over to Tomy. Had the unfortunate displeasure of making figures for Sonic Boom, and if you were around this time, you would know that they were forced to make figures exclusively based off of it for 2 years straight. 2 years without mainline Sonic figures. It's alright though, because they made fan favorites from the show, like Sonic, Sonic Running, Sonic with Sunglasses, and who could forget Sonic But Angry. Oh, just aside, they did actually make all of the important characters from Boom. Too bad there weren't many. Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Eggman, Styx, Shadow, and Metal Sonic all got figures, which were fine but limited in articulation. Now, in 2016, Tomy were finally free from the Sonic Boom curse, and were able to make action figures based off of the classic games for Sonic's 25th anniversary. We got Classic Sonic, Classic Tails, Classic Knuckles, Classic Sonic, Classic Tails, Classic Knuckles, Classic Sonic. Yeah, so even this line was pretty limited. But in 2017, they actually started cooking, finally being able to deliver modern figures. We got comic book packs with modern Sonic and Knuckles with their classic variants, and even if I'm tired of these sculpts, at least they were finally modern figures coming to the line. 2018 was undoubtedly their best year, finally giving us characters that weren't Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles for the 17th time. It's just too bad this was their final year. We got a comic book pack with classic Metal Sonic and regular Metal Sonic, along with modern Tails, and if I see this one more time, I'm going to end it up! The modern Tails was extremely controversial at the time, for good reason too. It looked like he was wearing a diaper, but the metal figures were actually pretty solid. They also gave us modern Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles with Chow, and I actually got this set for one of my birthdays while it was still available. I used to love these figures so damn much. There's also a 3-pack with Sonic Infinite and Zavik, which to this day remains the only iteration of Zavik in plastic form, so it's actually pretty special for that. Tomy announced classic and modern variants of Amy and Eggman, along with Supersonic, Shadow, and Silver, but those figures never saw the light of day, as Sega gave the license to their current toy partner. Jakks had probably the weirdest start over any toy line besides Toy Island, opting for bendy figures instead of articulated figures. They made Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow in the first wave, as well as Sonic again, Supersonic, Shadow, and Eggman in the second. They made one more wave, which were just the Wave 1 cast in sports getup.
Tails Soccer, Sonic Skateboard, Rogue and Amy Tennis, Cream Puff Flower Catch, Shadow Basketball, Knuckles Baseball.
In 2020, Jakks finally delivered 2 lines of articulated figures in a 4-inch and 2.5-inch scale. And it's not an exaggeration to say that the 4-inch figures is the best Sonic toy line of all time. Not only are the sculpts great and the articulation really good, but the variety in characters is actually insane. Of course, Sonic, Tails, Shadow, Eggman, Amy, Big, and Metal Sonic all got made. They get made by everyone. But Rouge, Cream, Vector, Espio, Charmy, Jet, Infinite, and Blaze got their second figures, and Omega, Chaos, Mephiles, and Tangle got their first figures. The 2.5-inch figures are cool too, but the main draw are the classic characters. They made all the classic characters you would expect, including the first figures of Mighty and Ray, and they also made Fang and Trip recently, which look absolutely awesome. They've also made figures for Prime, the DC crossover, and all 3 of the movies, and as someone who owns all the movie 3 merch they made, those figures are genuinely really stellar. As for the future, I really hope we get characters like Zavik, Gamma, Tikal, Whisper, and Dr. Starline. And now you're all caught up on the weird world of Sonic action figures. Whether you prefer the wonky look of the Resource figures, the articulation of the Jazzwares figures, the scale of the Tomy figures, or the variety of the Jax figures, we can all agree that Toy Island Tales needs to go on a diet. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subs by the end of August, and tell me if you own any of the figures seen here. I'm CJ, I talk, and never show me these damn scopes again.
Chale McDonald's say Sega Games Line.
I'm loving it.